Here are 5 awesome tips that will absolutely get you hitting better serves. Tip number 1, hit every serve with your racket face open at the beginning. I want to let you in on a little secret. We coaches know what level of play you are before you even hit the serve. All we do is look at the racket face. Lower level players begin their serves with the strings facing down. Higher level players begin with their racket face open. Of course, there are exceptions to this rule, but you can really bank on that rule being right about 95% of the time. Here's the reason why. The proper continental grip, where you place the base knuckle of your index finger and your heel pad on panel number 2, automatically sets the racket face open. So then when you grab on, your strings are facing up to the left as a righty and up to the right as a lefty. I can look 15 courts away and know what level of play someone is before they ever hit the serve. I'm not looking at the hand, I'm actually looking at the racket face. Many players struggle to use a continental grip because they begin normally, let's say with a semi-western, and you know how we kind of all start to play tennis like that, where we just bounce the ball and tap it over the net. What a lot of players do is they're shown the continental and they're like, okay, and they try to get the continental grip over, or their hand over to a continental by moving the hand, and they keep the racket in that same closed position. That's a pretty uncomfortable position to get your arm and hand in. Instead of thinking that the grip change occurs by turning your hand, instead just turn the racket, then grab on how you always do, and then you've got a continental grip. So from this point forward, every serve you hit, you're going to make sure that your racket face is open at the beginning. Go to your local courts, go to your local tennis club, and look around. Look at the higher level players. Their racket face usually is open at the beginning. And look at the beginners. They all have their strings pointing down. Hit every serve with your racket face open at the beginning, and the chances of using a continental grip go way up. Tip number 2, wear a birthday hat on your head and hit the birthday hat off while serving. I came up with this drill back in 2014. I was teaching a bunch of 8-year-olds who were all serving like this. And I explained to them that unicorns cannot serve correctly because the racket would hit their horn. And I thought to myself, what could I put on their head that they could actually hit, and to give them instant feedback, whether they laid their racket open or used a circular motion like Naomi Osaka and Roger Federer and Sam Groth, the fastest server of all time. And I thought, a birthday hat. One piece of advice when you wear a birthday hat, put it more in the front of your head, don't put it back here, because when you look up, there's nothing to hit. So you do need to have it more in the front. That's why I even say a unicorn. Now I don't have a lot of hair, so it kind of slides down. That's why I usually wear a hat. But I want you to make sure that it's far enough forward that when you look up, at least there's something to hit with your racket. The proper racket movement is circular, and the racket should pass in over your head. It's kind of like you're saluting. You hear a lot of coaches talk about the mirror as if you're looking at a mirror, but all of those ideas are more like you cross your fingers that you did it correctly. If you wear a physical birthday hat when actually serving, then it'll give you the instant feedback. Did you just lay the racket open and hit the way you don't want to, or did you pass the racket from front to back in over your head? That's how you're going to gain a lot of racket speed. Please go out and hit a physical birthday hat. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've probably hit over 100,000 serves in my life now, well, over the past 10 years, wearing a birthday hat. I have done it so many times, and I have all my students do it. Please go out, put a birthday hat on your head, and knock it off from front to back in order to learn the proper circular service motion. Tip number 3, hit the wrong side of the racket. Hitting the birthday hat is great, and it gets your racket traveling in a circular motion, but that doesn't do the trick always in getting rid of the waiter's tray. What you want to do is learn to hit the birthday hat, but you need to go up toward the ball like Felix Auger-Aliassime. He is one of the best examples of having the strings that you're going to use to hit the ball facing down as he approaches. That's a supinated position that requires pronation as he goes up to hit the ball. Well, why not go out and hit some serves with the birthday hat on your head, which I'll demonstrate, but I want you to actually use the wrong side of the racket to learn this position, this supinated position where the strings are pointing down. When you're supinated prior to hitting the ball, it requires pronation, which is the fastest way to move the racket through contact, and it explains that snap that you see the pros use at the top of their serve. They're not moving their wrist like this as much as they're rotating the racket to the inside of their hand. It's not going over their hand as much as it's coming slightly to the inside. John Isner is a perfect example of this. The racket should pass to the inside of the hand with this pronation, and that's possible once you learn how to have your strings actually facing down before you hit the ball. Now, you'll hear a lot of players say, well, can't I just learn to hit with the edge of the racket? That's great, but I actually find that it's not extreme enough. So the difference between hitting with the strings facing up to contact and on edge and hitting the frame isn't as great as really learning how to use the wrong side of the racket. So that really teaches the brain the arm position to get into. So if I demonstrate it with tip number 2, hitting the birthday hat, it would look like this. Birthday hat, hit the wrong side of the racket. Birthday hat, hit the wrong side of the racket. Now, obviously, I don't want you to play matches and compete using the wrong side of the racket. This is simply a drill to feel what it's like to finally eliminate that waiter's tray position. So go out and practice hitting the wrong side of the racket. The goal then is to go toward the ball like you're going to hit the wrong side, and then at the last second, turn the racket to actually contact with the correct side. How long can you delay that turn? The longer you can delay it, the more your serve is going to be like the pros. Tip number 4, stop swinging toward your target. It seems weird, but swinging toward the box is actually hurting your serve. When you use a proper continental grip and you actually learn how to come up to the ball with the wrong side of the racket, which then necessitates a very explosive pronation for more racket speed, it is in your best interest as a right-hander to swing to the right of your target. Obviously, lefties, you're going to reverse that and you're going to swing to the left of your target. See, one of the reasons why players hate the continental grip is that the ball goes to the side. So as a righty, if you use a continental grip, it's common that the ball goes left. But the only reason it's going left, which is a relative direction, it's relative to something else, is because you're swinging toward the target. When you use a forehand grip, and your strings are up, you have to swing straight toward your target to get the ball to go in. Well, when you change to a continental and now your strings are facing left, you have to accommodate for that by swinging off to the right. So I'm going to hit some serves right now, and I'm going to swing to the right of my target, and you'll see the direction that I'm swinging. I'm going to swing in between those two net posts. I'm going to swing with my racket going toward the net post, but the ball is not going to go to the net post. The ball is going to go to the box because the ball goes where my strings point, not where my racket travels. And those are two entirely different ideas. Right now I'm facing the camera and I'm traveling away from the camera. Right now I'm facing the camera and I'm coming toward the camera. Here I'm facing the camera, but I'm moving sideways. Where you face and where you travel are different ideas. It's the same thing with our racket. So go out and practice hitting serves with the proper grip. And if you're right-handed, swing to the right of your target. When you swing to the right of your target, the ball will go in the box because the strings face left. Left of what? The direction you're traveling. So if you are struggling to use a continental grip and you feel like every time I hit the ball, Ryan, the ball goes to the left as a righty or it goes to the right as a lefty, it's because you're swinging towards your target. As a righty, swing to the right of your target. When you do that, the chances of the ball going toward the box go way up. Tip number 5, finish each serve with your arms crossed in an X, or kind of like you're hugging yourself. Over-rotation is a real issue with recreational players on their serve. And what does over-rotation look like? It's when the tossing hand, when it drops, gets thrown behind. And you'll even see a right-handed player finishes with their body facing completely left. If your body is rotating as you're hitting the ball, you're simply not going to be able to swing as fast as if you rotate to contact and then stop your body's rotation and allow the forearm to snap with a very quiet body. And the best way to do that is as the tossing arm drops, you pull it in, that stops the body's rotation and allows the forearm to snap. So here's the easiest way you can practice this. Filming from the back view, so go out and film yourself hitting serves. When you're done serving, wave to the camera. And if you notice, I'm waving to you, but I'm waving on the hitting side of my body. So in front, it looks like this. My arms are crossed. Players who do not do this, they usually throw this arm way behind them, and they, as a right-hander, they'll usually miss way off to the left of their target if they have the proper continental grip. And if they don't have the proper continental grip, just to even be able to get the ball into the box, their serve really suffers. Finish each serve with your arms crossed, and you'll no longer over-rotate during your finish. Now, if you're tired of lugging around your old and outdated ball machine, then just make your tennis friends jealous and get the Proton ball machine by Hydrogen Sports. And right now you can get free shipping in the USA when you use my link. It's in the description. You'll find it in the first comment. You'll also see it on the screen at the end of this video. The Proton is fully programmable using its intuitive app. In fact, you control it using your smartphone or watch. It holds up to 100 balls and weighs less than 20 pounds. To see how truly amazing this ball machine is, and to get free shipping when you order one, be sure to use my link. So click right there to check out the amazing Proton ball machine, and with that link you're going to get a coupon code for free shipping. You use these 5 tips to hit incredible serves, there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.